Hello everyone, Mike here with you guys once again, and I have a thought I wanted to share with you all regarding technology and where we're at in terms of the internet and where we could go. I think we are at a crossroads right now, and I see three paths in our future, and it depends on where we go with net neutrality and where we go with our internet infrastructure, meaning the minimum speed of the internet in terms of what counts as broadband. Right now, we are seeing streaming things like PlayStation Now, and I see a lot of potential for where we could go. But our internet infrastructure is so incomplete right now that we're living at a time where half the country is moving forward and half the country is stagnant because of internet speeds. Also, regarding net neutrality, if it ends, it could drastically change gaming. It could not only, to the point where I think that technology could actually decrease. We could go backwards technology-wise if we lose net neutrality. And I'll explain. But first I want to mention that if that does happen, it would not be the first time technology has decreased. Remember the Dark Ages? During the Dark Ages, our technology decreased, went backwards. That's hard to imagine, but it happened, and it could happen again. Now, let me explain why. Net neutrality keeps the internet equal for everyone, in terms of everybody can go to any website they choose. The cable companies, they don't want you to do that. They want to control what you can see, and also they want to bribe companies into coughing up more cash in order to gain access to their customers. And if that happens, guess who's going to fit the bill? You. Can you, and here's an example of how that could happen in gaming. Let's say net neutrality dies. And so the internet companies decide that they're going to bribe gaming companies. So they have to give you the bill. So let's say they decided to bribe Xbox or bribe PlayStation. And you had to pay more for Xbox Live or for PlayStation Plus. Or let's say they were to go after certain game companies. Let's say they wanted to go after particular games. And in order to make up the difference, you had to pay each individual game to play its online multiplayer. That's a lot of games for a lot of people. That adds up in price. And if it can, and it can get to the point where it's too expensive for the average person to play online. Or they may only play online with one particular game or a couple. There's a lot of companies that have a lot to lose. And if that happens, people may cancel their Gold subscriptions or their Plus memberships. So that hurts Sony and Microsoft as well. It also can hurt indie games. It could keep indie games from getting out there. And also, it would put a stop to gaming streaming services, because people won't be able to afford it. That cost adds up, and you're going to fit the bill. So as a result, online gaming would go away, and we would see us going backwards in technology in terms of how we game. That's one future that's ahead. And that is why it is imperative for gaming companies to support net neutrality. All these publishers and gaming companies that have wanted DRM for the longest time, they want an all digital future and want used games to go away. Supporting net neutrality is the best way to make that happen, because people won't be so upset, because we will all have good internet connections. Well, we'll all be able to have equal access, and prices won't go up, so we'll still be able to game online. The other thing that they need to get behind is better internet infrastructure. The gaming publishers and gaming companies need to get behind that. That way, we can go to a streaming future and no one would complain. It would become the standard. So yeah, if net neutrality dies, technology is very likely to decrease. Now, where we're at right now is our internet infrastructure is unequal. Big cities have good internet infrastructure, but the rural areas don't tend to have poor internet infrastructure. As a result, people are going down two different paths. Half the country is moving forward with technology, and there's enough people for it to continue to evolve. But the other half of the country is falling behind. And it's not just with games. Did you know, think about this. You can go to Walmart right now, and there is not only a Blu-ray section still, but a DVD section. DVDs are still on sale. CDs are still on sale. Normally DVDs would be left in the dust by now. But because of our internet infrastructure being the way it is, you've got one half of the country going one way, moving forward, and the other half of the country is being stagnant. Technology is stagnant for half the country. So the other thing we really need to do to push technology forward is to demand a minimum broadband standard for the nation and to make sure everyone is covered. And that is the broadband connection needs to, the minimum standard for broadband needs to be much higher than it is right now. Right now it's 4. That's not fast enough because the internet can slow down, you can get cut offline. I've had that happen to me many times. And it's keeping half the country from moving forward. It's keeping technology from moving as fast as it should be. So those are the paths we have right now. We kill net neutrality, we go back in technology. We keep everything exactly as it is now, we don't move forward at all. Or we push for not only to keep net neutrality, but faster internet for everybody, and we move forward. And the third option, faster internet for all plus net neutrality, is something that game companies, especially ones that want DRM and want a digital-only future and get rid of physical copies, that's what they need to push for. Because only then will we see streaming really take over completely. And if that happened, there are people who are complaining about it now, but most of us wouldn't be complaining about it if we all had good internet. Yes, there are going to be those of us who rather have physical copies. Most of the there's always going to be that. There's always going to be a small, loyal, dedicated following likes to keep things the way they've been, or keep buying things the way they have. But the majority of the country, if our internet was where it should be, the majority of our country would be streaming everything right now. And that's where technology should be heading, I think. Even though I like having physical copies, here's the thing: there are advantages to an all-digital future if we all have fast enough internet. Number one, we wouldn't have to change consoles every few years. And number two, and this is a big one, old games can come back and stay there. Well, meaning that, you know how in every other medium you can get a movie, you can get old movies or old TV shows. They're available to you. But old games, once they come off the market, they tend to not be as readily available. If we stream everything, that would change. You could play Knights of the Old Republic and the latest game out, Grand Theft Auto or Call of Duty, whichever number is out. You'll be able to play them all on one system without needing to upgrade, and you wouldn't have to upgrade again because everything is being programmed, is being done from their end. It would fix clutter. You wouldn't have a bunch of systems lying around. There are benefits to it. Now, yes, there are aspects of it that do make me sad, and that are concerning, like the fact that you don't own anything because a streaming service can take down whatever they want, so you never really own anything. That does bother me, and that's something that I would miss. But there are advantages too, and I just wanted to point them out there. And I just wanted to point out the significant fact that we are at a crossroads when it comes to technology. Our country, our culture is at a technological crossroads. And that is interesting to me. And I want to know what your thoughts are on it are. What do you think about this? Because no one's really worded it like this, and I think they should. This is something that we need to be talking about. We need to all realize that we are at a crossroads because we all have a decision to make. We need to realize that there's a decision we have to make, and then we have to decide which decision we want. So there you go. The thing that I want to see net neutrality preserved, and I want our internet infrastructure to increase. Yes, if those two things happen, digital copies will go away. And I will miss them, but I think it would be worth it. It'd be worth it. It saddens me to say that to an extent because I do like owning physical copies. But if technology remains stagnant or goes backwards, I just think that's bad for us, bad for mankind, as the Dark Ages proved. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on where we are. Let me know what your thoughts are, and I will talk to you guys in a future video. Bye-bye.